Men lead, women follow. And so you don't agree with that. You believe that women lead and men follow.
I believe that it's vice versa. Like we lead in our own right. Like, but what is we leading? Like, so when you say if it's society, okay, that will depend on who's running that society. If it's a patriarchal society or if it's a matriarchal society.
We can start on a society. We can start on a society level. One, there's never been a matriarchy that stood the test of time. All for society means it is a collection of people in an ordered community. Order is the word you want to focus on. Out of the two sexes, who can create order? That would be men. Men create order, a patriarch. Men, within the community, we put consequences on the good and we praise. We put consequences on the bad and we incentivize the good. Women cannot put consequences on the bad. Collectively, they just can't do it. So men in society are going to be the ones that is going to be able to even create a society. A society only exists under a patriarchy.
Would you say that women could, if they were allowed to, like we can go off this fact that men are stronger and we
not
can
under a
override and make the
society,
rules.
not under a society with men and women. So under a society with just under a collection of just only women, if all women get together and they want to create a community, under that community, yeah, they can create a society with some law and order and some rules and regulations because they all share the same physical capacity.
I get what you're saying, but my thing is I see that women can lead, just not in the manner that men do, with force being a utilization of leading. But I don't think leadership is by force. It's usually by influence, but it can be by force or control. But if a woman can be influential enough to lead, she can lead, or women in the whole. It's just that because force is utilized by men.
So you're equivocating. I never said that it takes force to lead. Even if it's the case currently right now, let's say if Kamala Harris was the president right now, this doesn't mean that we truly live in a matriarchy. No, it's just a matriarchy only can exist as a social construct. A patriarchy exists in reality because even if Kamala Harris is in power, she still appeals to a collection of men to enforce all of the rights, which is going to be the police force and the military. And the police force and the military are over 90% men.
I mean, would you say that that's the utilization of the force that men have, but you can still lead as a woman? Like, women lead, is just that they can't lead the way that men...
Not on a societal level, it still wouldn't be what's best. I would say that can a woman do it? She just can't do it to the degree that men can do it. Can women lead other women? Sure, go ahead and lead another woman if you want, but a community of men and women, no, it's best if men lead and women follow. And also, women want it that way. Even if we look at it from a relationship standpoint, right? Before a nation is built, relationships are built. You would agree to that because you can't have a nation if you don't have a relationships and procreate and things like that, right? To even get to a community size. So before a nation is built, a relationship is built. And women, they want a man that's taller, stronger, preferably makes more money. They want a man with A-type personality that can lead them. If you ask a majority of women, that's what they yearn for. And even the most feminist women, they still look for masculine qualities within a man. With that being said, from their own attraction triggers, women want a man to lead. So before a nation is built, a relationship is built, and women want to be underneath a leader. So in a nation, they want to be under a leader as well, which is a man. Generally speaking, that's what they want.
But ain't that based off of the society created by men, that's the way that they are going to be bred up and brought up to feel?
No, it's not what they was going to. It's not nurtured. It's nature. So if you just look back, listen, man, if you go back 2, 3, 5,000 years ago, we get pushed more into gender roles. Think about it. 2,000 years ago, well, we didn't have these first world countries where we can just turn on a water faucet and clean water would come out. No, you would have to go clean your water, build your shelter, and hunt and gather. Well, women relied on men to do those things. And actually, back in those days, this is why men had multiple women, because a lot of men couldn't clean water, build shelter. So women would get with the guys that could clean water, build shelter, and provide them comfortability, protect and provide. That's why many men that can do that and accomplish that had multiple women, had harems of women. The kings, the sultans, all of them had many women because they provided safety for those women. And that's what women gravitate towards.
And I get that 100%. But like I said, it is due to their ability men's ability to do certain things that women probably don't desire to do, but it's not to say that they can't do it.
No one said that. My argument isn't a can't. In prompt 1, it doesn't say men lead, women can't lead. The prompt is men lead, women follow.
Oh, well, of course. Then
So what I'm saying is it's very simple. Women cannot lead to the same degree that men can lead. Women are emotional. Let me ask you a question. Were you raised with a single mother?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And he said, yes, of course. Dang, bruh. You didn't even give yourself a chance.
Of course.
Homie.
I got plenty of chances.
Listen, you ain't even give yourself a homie said, yes, of course. Of course I was raised with a single mother. This is why I'm up here and I'm saying that women can lead too. Okay, I feel what you're saying, man. And it makes sense because, men that were raised with a single mom, if they didn't really overcome the influence that the mom pressed on the son, then it takes them a little bit while because you never, was raised with a father and you never experienced how a masculine man behaves and thinks and operates in a man.
I've had plenty of male examples and role models and influences, but I was raised by a single mother.
Well, if you had plenty of male role models and influencers and things like that, then they were feminine. They weren't masculine.
Why would you say that?
Because any masculine man understands that men and women aren't the same. We are different. And we look for different things. We complement one another.
So you just jumped to a conclusion based off of what, though? Because I said that women pretty much gravitate to men that are capable of doing the things that she can do, but she probably would not want to do. But it's not to say that she can't do it. So I'm not saying that we are equal. And I'm not saying that our desires are the same or that we are capable of doing the same things to the same extent. But what I'm saying is that women gravitate to men that can do the things that she probably would rather not have to do or would rather not do.
That isn't my argument. What do you think is best? Do you think it's best?
Well.
Okay, that isn't my argument though. Do you think it's best?
No, that's what you just said. That
no.
Because
do you think it's best if? Listen, do you think it's best if women lead or if men lead? What do you think is optimal?
I mean, in the patriarch, it's best that men lead because they have an influence of men. I mean, and they have a.
There is no such thing as a matriarch. A matriarch is a social construct in the mind.
Well, even if it's a social construct in the mind, I mean, it can happen though.
Explain to me how a matriarchy can exist outside of the mind in a society full of men and women. Explain. Demonstrate that.
I mean, when you talk about a society, it's like, okay, society is, you got this government, you got male dominated people in leadership, XYZ, which dictate and establish rules and regulations and ideologies that is, let's say, more so favored to the men. I mean, and based on the fact that they have the force and the power to do so because they could either beat you up, they could go to war with you, XYZ, then yeah, they are more prone to.
That's not my question.
But
my question is, explain to me how a matriarchy can exist outside of the mind.
by men allowing women to
That's still in the
their own
mind,
right.
because men are just allowing it. That's in the mind. That's not in reality.
I mean, even in reality,
It doesn't really.
like, that's how the patriarch exists.
No, listen.
Except the
No,
fact
no,
that
no.
men could force the
No. This is what
patriarch.
I'm saying. For a matriarchy to exist, so here's my
Women
argument.
have to have force. They have to be able to beat you up.
Here's my argument.
That's what you're
Do
saying.
you think that the real power lies within the people that write laws on a piece of paper? Or do you think that the real power lies within the people that actually enforce the laws that's on the piece of paper?
It's the enforcers.
It's the enforcers. We would agree. So what I'm saying is a matriarchy will never exist because the true power lies within the enforcers. And the enforcers in a society is always going to be men, is never going to be women. So it would only exist in a mind if like a woman becomes president and, men say if women are very influential and they just, all of them influence men to just have them in all of the legislative branch and all of the branches of government is all filled with women, but then it's men that's enforcing all of the rights. So this matriarchy would only exist in the minds of the men, in the minds of the woman. It's only in the minds, but it's not being enforced by the women. It's going to still be enforced by the men. So a matriarchy is just a social construct of the mind. A patriarchy is rooted in reality.
Right, because it's rooted in the fact that men have the ability to overpower.
So then I just refuted your argument. Can you concede that a matriarchy can never exist in reality?
I wouldn't. No, I believe that a matriarch can exist if men. Because if men are the ones who enforce the patriarch, if they seen and saw fit a woman to be able to lead, and they enforce that as well, then a matriarch could exist. I wouldn't say that it could never exist, because if men felt a woman's suit to do so, and they roll with that woman and enforce the whatever it was that she was implementing.
Listen, man, you just admitted, and we agreed to it, that the true power lies within the enforcers. And the enforcers, right. That true power, that is the patriarchy.
So even if the man is fighting for the woman to lead, then it's still a patriarch.
Still a patriarchy. The patriarchy is inevitable. There's always going to be some type of patriarchal system. If you peel the layer back, it means that men, since the beginning of time, if we don't like something, we have the ability, collectively, we have the ability to change the conditions that we were dealt with. If we're living in a certain condition and if we don't like it, we have the ability to overthrow a king, overthrow a government. Collectively, we can come together and we can do that. We've done it. We had civil wars. We had many type of government systems have been overthrown. That happens all the time, right? So with that being said, men have the monopoly on force, and we are the only sex that has the power to change the conditionals if we aren't satisfied with it. Women do not have that same ability because they are the weaker sex, right?
And I agree. According to how you putting it, you're right. A matriarch, it only exists in the mind.
It can only exist. It can only exist in the mind.
Before they're men, that's a patriarch in and of itself. I get that. But like I said, it's how I think, I guess, because I think, okay, if a woman is leading that, if women are leading this and men are fighting for it, that's still a matriarch in my head. But I get it to what you're saying, because you're dividing the two, that these men that are fighting, that is a patriarchal system.
Correct. You have to correct. You got to make distinctions between things. So the one distinction we made was power. Some people think that, is power just the people that legislate the laws and write the laws? Well, they're in these leadership positions, but is that true power? Because we would all know that, let's say if the generals and the sergeants of the United States government was like, you know what, we don't like what Trump doing right now. We just not going to listen to him. Right. And we are going to tell the troops, the military, to overthrow the entire government system and put in the Democrats. That can be done overnight by the military. Make sense? And what does the military consist of? Over 95% men. So it's going to be men. It's going to be a patriarchy. But let's say if it was women, right? All of these women got together and they were in the military. It says 95% women. Well, women wouldn't be able to do that because just the regular civilians and citizens would be able to fight the women off. The regular male civilians and citizens will be able to defend the government from the military that rebels. But the same is not true in reverse. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, that is that simple. So that's prompt 1 for you. Looks like we defeated that prompt. You can basically concede it. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.